This is Cedric Clute talking to you on KVGC Radio, bringing you Tales of the Mother Lode. Let me tell you a tale about two different men. One was a cop and one was a crook. The cop was from right here in Amador County. The crook was from good old New York City. And one day, just before World War II, on Main Street in Jackson, for just a moment, their paths crossed. The cop was George Luco. The crook was Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. Most of you, I'm sure, have heard of Bugsy Siegel. During Prohibition days, he was co-boss with Meyer Lansky of New York's Bug and Meyer mob of executioners. In the mid-1930s, he was sent west as an agent of New York and Chicago syndicates to organize California crime and bring it under the wing of the national cartel. Hollywood was his main hangout, but Amador County and Jackson, with its wide-open specialty of gambling and girls, must have appealed to his business instincts. So Bugsy was the crook. The cop, as I said, was George Luco, and any Amadoran over 60 could probably tell you stories about him that would curl your hair. Luco was nothing less than a legend. Here's his nephew, Ernie Luco, to introduce him. Uncle George was the sheriff. He was also the probation officer and the tax collector. He was tough but tender-hearted. He wasn't one to brag, and his deputy told me this story. The first week he was in office, they got word that some man had gone crazy and was shooting at people. Well, Uncle and the deputy went out in a buggy and got close to where the guy was, but he jumped out of the bushes and grabbed the horse's bridle and started shooting at Uncle George and the deputy with a .44 revolver. So Uncle pulled out his gun, and they were firing at each other from about 12 feet. This fellow collapsed, and when they hauled him in, they found 6 bullet holes in him, just the number of bullets Uncle George had fired. Now, you've met the crook and you've met the cop. So let me tell you what happened and how I found out about it. A few years back, my wife Jan and I went to San Francisco and were wandering around some of our old haunts in North Beach. We had a cappuccino at the Tosca Cafe, a coffee at Mario's cigar store, and then we decided to hit the new Pizza restaurant where a bartender friend of ours hung out. 10,000 people wandering all over North Beach, but we always knew where to find Pancho. Well, he was there, as usual, holding up the end of the bar, a Pisco punch in his hand, yakking it up with an older man we didn't recognize. After swapping small talk for a couple of minutes, Pancho introduced us to his friend Sal, who did a double take when he found out we were from Amador County and worked in Jackson. It seems Sal knew about our county and had been here for an interesting day just before World War II. This is Cedric Clute asking you to tune in again as I continue the story of the cop and the crook on Tales of the Mother Lode.